Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real. My name is Michael Cohen II, and with me, as always, is
Matthew Lance Haas.
Lance. Should I call you Sir Lancelot?
No, more like Sarah Lance or well, I don't know the Captain Lance's. What was his name in Arrow? Sarah's father. What was his name?
Wow, it's really sad that I forgot already.
I forgot his name. I don't know if they ever really. They never really addressed his real
did.
name. It was always.
They did, but I can't remember it now.
Shit.
But Captain Lance, and yeah,
well, whatever. Both Captain Lances.
And Laurel Lance.
Yeah. Because they're father and daughter, so obviously I'd be related to. So
they're both captains.
One, admittedly, of a more, standard role, captain of the police precinct, and the other captain of a time ship. But yeah, so that's cool.
And they both eat Captain Crunch for breakfast.
I guess. I mean, that was never confirmed, but
well, in my head canon, they do. They sit around the table together when Sarah was a little girl, and they just sat there and they ate some crunch berries.
Okay.
Sometimes peanut butter crunch.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Once in a great while after it came out, they would eat the Oops All berries.
Ah.
Which is the only cereal that was a mistake.
I kind of liked them a little bit.
Oh no, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying it was a mistake because it says right on the box.
Oh yeah, because Oops All berries.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Which it's a mistake, but yet they mass produced them, so that's whatever.
Because all mistakes are put in boxes.
Mm-hmm.
We always mass produce our mistakes. That's what America is made of. Mass production of mistakes. Yeah. And I don't care what you say about America here.
Hey.
In America, when we do something wrong, we do it in spades. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And we profit from it.
Wow.
Whether it be, something that makes sense and matters in the world, or something that's on your breakfast table.
Wow.
Like Oops All berries. The favorite cereal of Captain Lance and Captain Lance. You heard it here first, folks. I don't know what this voice is, but I like it. All right, I'm back. So, I was possessed for a second there, Matt.
That's fine.
Which brings us to the topic of this episode, The Satan's Apprentice, episode 5.
Of Legends of Tomorrow.
Season 6. Yes. So, this episode starts out at Constantine's Manor, where Astrolage is struggling with everyday chores, and her neighbor, Robert Truss, who is a ignorant bigot, basically. Fucking old racist dude. Doesn't understand that Astra could live in that house and not be a maid. Asking her to come over and dust his
his
ugly lamps.
Bethany lamps. Yeah. Well, plus two before that, she's like trying to pay for like stuff, doesn't have enough money, and
Oh yeah, she was like at
that.
some kind of like farmer's market or something and doing that. Yeah.
And, didn't have enough money to pay for the cab, so he kicked her out, and then she got splashed by a bunch of water. So she's not having a good day.
No. She's having about as good of a day that I had today. Unfortunately, folks, I broke two camera lenses today. Shooting a music video.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
Such is life. The one I was like, okay, all right, I'll replace it. And then I broke a second one. More reason that you should go to our Patreon, folks, and subscribe so we can make a little bit of money here, and then I can continue to make movies and music videos and stuff. Mm-hmm. And Matt can make music, and we can all live in harmony. I'm not sure where harmony is, but we're going to move there, and we're going to live in harmony.
We're going to move to Harmony,
yes,
California or something. I don't know. Harmony, California, a fake city.
Yes.
Or Harmony, Washington, or Montana. Not Montana. There's nothing there. But Washington State.
Harmony, Tennessee.
Okay, I can see that.
Harmony, Kentucky.
Nah, I think Harmony, Tennessee sounds like a good...
Harmony, Connecticut.
Yeah. I could see that being like a posh... I wouldn't want to live there, but I could see it being like a posh little town, city, state type of thing.
Harmony, Ohio.
That just sounds super religious for some reason.
How about we just stay here in Northwest Ohio?
Yeah.
For the time being.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, okay, so oh man, I forgot when we did the Zach Morris, the Saved by the Bell, the college years episode. There was a thing I wanted to say, but I totally forgot about it. Where I have no idea if the joke was supposed to make sense and didn't land well, or if I just didn't understand the joke. But when Mike, our resident, whatever his name is, the resident. Yeah. What's his name? Resident something. Whatever he comes knock on the door to introduce himself, and Screech goes, "It's Ohio," and it talks. I don't know if I'm supposed to get that.
What he's talking about is how he's a big guy, and he's kind of shaped like Ohio.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I didn't know.
Ohio kind of is
because he had a mullet.
Ohio's kind of like kind of like bigger on top and kind of like taters off on the bottom. Okay. That's kind of how a football player looks. So they kind of look like the shape of Ohio.
Okay.
So that's what I'm thinking it was all about.
I was trying to figure out. I'm like, am I just not getting the joke?
That's how I took the joke, but it's still, it's.
It could be, yeah.
Bad Saved by the Bell, right?
But man, that's a pretty complex joke to expect from Saved by the Bell fans.
Go back and watch some of the ones that aired on Saturday morning, and there are some jokes in there that make no sense to any child.
Made no sense whatsoever, yeah.
They might make sense to you now, but if you go back and try to remember them as a child, watching it, you're like, how would I have found that funny? Like Screech references television shows that had been off the air for 20 years and other random stuff, and you're just like, okay.
Kind of like the Big Bang Theory stuff, where they just mention random shit, and it's somehow supposed to be a joke that they're mentioning it. Like Thundercats, Green Lantern, laugh track. He's just mentioning TV shows and comic books. How is that a joke? The Flash, Green Arrow, laugh track. Again, he's just mentioning products in books. How is whatever. Anyway,
so back to DC's Legends of Tomorrow, episode 5 of season 6, the Satanist's Apprentice.
We're getting off track. We're getting off track. Sorry.
By the way, this episode was directed by Caity Lotz, who plays Sarah Lance. So, just letting you know that.
What's that?
This episode was directed by Caity Lotz, who plays Sarah Lance.
Oh, it was directed by her.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. That's probably why we didn't see her in the last episode.
Right. Which is interesting, too, because in this episode, Mick's not in it. So now each person has one episode where they weren't in. So that's interesting. They just kind of flipped, who was going to be in it and who wasn't.
Because this is actually probably the first episode without Mick. Ever.
Right, exactly. And last week's was the first episode. Or was it the week before that? I don't remember.
Last week was the first episode without Sarah.
Right, okay. So it is interesting. So what's going on with Astra? Yeah.
So Astra, she had an argument with Robert Truss as she was walking up there, her neighbor. She goes into the house and she's being ignored by Constantine and stuff. So she's looking upstairs for something in the attic, and she finds a painting talking to her. She hears a painting talking to her, and finds out that the painting is possessed by Aleister Crowley. And he's basically an occultist who's trapped in the painting. He offers to teach her magic, intending to find the Fountain of Imperium, a source of alien magic. Which he practiced, I guess.
He was obsessed with the idea of aliens as well as he believed that aliens were basically I don't know. He believed all that weird stuff, but I guess he believed that aliens were some of the gods, and that they revealed the Quran and other books that he believed had secret hidden magic inside, but only he and other adepts were able to interpret, type of stuff.
And L. Ron Hubbard followed him and then decided to create his own religion based on.
Right. Well, there you go.
So that kind of just proves to you how Scientology is a crock. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so was Crowleyism.
Yeah, I
mean, this guy, the real Crowley, he ended up spending time in a pyramid. He claims that's where he received the revelation of his book called the Book of the Law, or something like that, which is basically just a hedonist, do what you want. That is the entirety of the law. You need to be in meditation for 6 days in the pyramid to come up with that. Oh man, do what you want. Oh man, you need to go to Egypt to come up with that gem of divine wisdom. Whatever. Anyway, guy was a piece of shit, racist motherfucker. Died a heroin addict in a poorhouse because he wanted to basically test his will. So he intentionally got himself addicted to heroin just to see if he could get himself off, but he never did. So he died a heroin addict. I'm like, oh, that's who the real Aleister Crowley is. Frankly, I think this version is a little bit more charming than the real.
Well, yeah. A lot of people looked up to him for some reason too, which I don't know.
Just because he's mysterious and all that stupid shit. Whatever.
So
yeah.
Anyways, in this episode, in this episode, this version of Crowley, he's trapped inside of a painting. During an argument with Constantine, Astra gives Crowley control of Constantine's body, and then while that happens, because of that, then Constantine is stuck inside the painting now, while Crowley is inside of John's body. And when the legends actually arrive at the manor after the events of the previous episode, Astra transforms all of them after learning some magic, all of them into household objects. So at one point, then she decides that she found a Bethany lamp in her house, and Crowley basically says that he needs a body a human body, a live one, to sacrifice for this magic.
He's got to rip out their soul. Yeah.
And so she invites Mr. Truss over, and to sell him the lamp. And even though he's a dick and a racist, you shouldn't kill dicks and racists because it's still murder. I'm just telling people that ahead of time, okay?
Right.
Yeah, just letting you know. There are better ways to deal with those people.
Right, exactly.
That are legal. And so Astra then tries to stop Crowley from usurping Truss' trusts and the Legend's souls, because he's basically going to try to take the Legend's souls as well.
Yeah, because he wants more power.
Yeah. And then he betrays her and transforms everyone into cartoon characters.
Right. So all this happened because John was just, because, Astra was just living there by herself, and, like, the power got shut down, the sink was breaking, they had no money, they had no food, and, John was basically just off doing, Legends missions, and wouldn't do...
And being blinded by his love of Zari.
Yeah, exactly. He was concentrating on all that, and at one point, she said something like, well, you do everything by magic, and he's like, yeah, but magic is still work, stuff like that. So then that's kind of what gave her the idea, was like, well, she needs to make some money, she needs to turn the power back on. So that's how, Aleister Crowley, preyed upon her desperation, basically, to do that. So, that's a big part of, the story of this episode, is that she's pretty much, like, all alone. She, like, plus, like, too, she couldn't get on her phone because she ran out of, quote, demon data on her phone, because apparently in hell they still have data that you have to use. Okay, and then, the internet, it's just basically just nothing to do inside that mansion, like, literally nothing to do, like, just sitting, like, in the dark, doing absolutely nothing. And then, so yes, right, after all this, he turns everyone into these sort of, like, Disney cartoon characters, like, almost like the Beauty and the Beast type of stuff.
Yeah, and they all start singing and stuff. Which I have mixed feelings about. But anyways,
it was interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure, but it was all right.
Wasn't one of my favorite episodes, but I'll just give you that. But
yeah, well, it's kind of like last week's, where it seems like there's a lot of like almost like a bottle episode. Like, it's not how like things are taking place like in two places, as opposed to like going about, you know what I mean? Like they used to.
It's funny though. It's probably one of the most expensive bottle episodes ever, because they had to animate everything.
Oh, sure.
And even just animating the painting of Aleister Crowley talking probably cost a decent amount.
Right.
And
oh yeah, I know, totally. And like I've heard too that like they said this season, someone said that they might actually not do as much time travel. And it does seem like so far they haven't done a whole. I know they've done a few episodes, but it does seem like...
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were in the 50s in the one episode, they were in the future in another episode, and then, yeah. And then I think...
Right.
Yeah. And I think an upcoming episode, not the next one, but I think the one after it, or maybe sometime soon, they're going to be in the Wild West again, so... We'll
oh, God.
Yeah.
I end up meeting like Jonah Heck for like the 18th time.
I don't know if he'll... I don't even know if he'll be involved, but it's an episode that's coming up that... Yeah, it's going to be episode 8, actually, called Stressed Western, and it's actually directed by David Ramsey, who played Diggle on Arrow, so we'll see how that goes, because he's directing an episode on like all of the Arrowverse shows this year, I think, most of them, if not all of them, so, and then he's guest starring, I know, on an upcoming episode of Batwoman, so... We'll see how that goes, too.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd like to see him on some of the other shows, too. That'd be cool. Because I like Diggle. Anyways, so they're all animated. Do you want to take a break here really quick, actually, Matt? And then we'll talk about the rest of the episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, now that everybody's animated, we can take a break.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know what the logic there is, but it makes about as much sense as the logic in this episode.
It's whatever.
I'll be right back.
What is Gen X? What is the silent generation? What do generations have in common? Hi, I'm Trish the Dish from the Gen X Voice podcast, and I invite you to listen to conversations I have with folks from different generations, backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences in an attempt to see what connects rather than divides us. Even though Gen X has been called slackers, Karens, or not mentioned at all in some cases, we are the bridge generation, so I feel compelled to do my part to destroy ageism by bringing all these voices together. And as a bonus, each guest gets to answer some 80s questions at the end of each show. So download and listen to Gen X Voice today on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And let's see how much we have in common after all.
Hi, this is Catherine, host of a new fashion podcast, The Real Fashion School Dropout. Join me as I interview guests every week in the fashion and beauty space, and we gossip on all things fashion and beauty, and even get into some personal stories of their journey in the industry. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Hope to see you there.
And we are back. We're still animated, though.
Mm-hmm.
So should I sing this portion?
No.
Me.
I wasn't really digging on that they had.
I shouldn't sing, probably.
No.
Okay. I'll save everybody, If you want to hear me sing, you can buy my next album.
Yeah.
It'll be out in the future.
Mm-hmm. In the future.
Yes. You might have to build a time machine to find it, though. So we'll see. Anyways, so what do we got going on now? They're all animated.
Mm-hmm.
And these cartoon characters. So after that, Astra ends up using a spell created by her mother, Natalie, to remove all of the magic to save things. This was after they had actually... I forgot to say that basically Truss got knocked out at one point. He was on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But anyways, the spell that she used of her mother's, it retraps Crowley and restores everyone to their bodies. But it also depowers everyone of their magic, including John Constantine.
The entire house is depleted. Yeah, because Natalie invented that spell when they were like teenagers or whatever, because they both got in the magic together. But John was much more reckless in his pursuits, and he wanted to learn the dark arts as well as, I guess, the regular arts. And Natalie didn't really believe in that. She just was like a basic, sort of like a regular witch, like, potions, healing, that kind of stuff. Whereas John, like, really, really, really got into like the dark arts and all kinds of stuff. So she actually left him because of that. He's like, we can't be friends anymore if you're going to continue doing this. Like, it's either magic or us. And he chose magic, and then that's kind of what led to the whole thing too, of Asper going into hell and all that kind of stuff, because he got into some really, really, really like dangerous forms of magic.
So the whole dark arts thing makes me have a question here. Can I go to a school? Because I know you can go to a school and study liberal arts.
Mm-hmm.
Can you study dark arts, or is that considered conservative arts?
I don't know any school that teaches dark arts, unless you're talking about like Harry Potter universe.
Okay. I was just making sure that wasn't like I couldn't go to like the local community college and study the dark arts.
No, well, you might be able to take a course. Well, you could take a course of magic, like from an anthropological point of view, but like, no, you're not going to like learn spells or anything like that.
Yeah.
You might meet someone who practices magic at your class.
Okay.
Then you could start doing magic outside of class.
But I can't get.
You're not going to learn
a degree in it.
No.
Oh, okay.
You can only get a degree like in an academic sense, like about the theory of magic or history of magic, or from probably from like anthropology, I'm guessing. So yeah.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. I was just curious.
There you go. So Natalie
I don't have the energy to go back to school anyways, so I'm just making sure.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah. So Natalie invented this spell.
Basically, like if he gone way too, because he was already going that way anyway, but if he gone to the point of like just like extreme, or he may have already gone to that point, but Natalie died at some point, so maybe she wasn't able to do it to the point where he went too far anyway, because Astra got sent down to hell, and I think that was after Natalie died. So
yeah,
I don't think she probably would have put that spell on him long before he ever got to that point. Which is, if you go back to like the last season or so, that's
I mean that was
basically
that was another issue that Astra had, is because she aged in hell, but she's actually a lot younger.
She's only 15 years old.
Yeah,
well, no,
or younger.
She's probably older mentally as well, because she technically aged in hell.
Yeah. So she wasn't able to get a job anywhere because she's really not old enough to have the job. So, according to
they think she's only 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird.
So, anyways,
in the spell, of course, yeah.
Yeah, they basically, like I said, the spell depowered Constantine, which kind of sucks. And while all this
it was a song as well.
Yeah. Which makes sense because you're animated and you got to sing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everybody that's animated has to sing, right?
You have to. I did not like that song very much, to be honest.
No, me either.
It was. I know they were trying to do like a Disney type of song, but I just I know it's supposed to be whimsical and like dreamy, to basically put Crowley to sleep. They
probably just needed better writers for the song.
Yeah, I just was not a huge.
No.
Yeah, so what do you think is going to happen now with John with no magic? I mean, like, how is he even going to help the legends?
We also had something else going on in this episode too, Matt. That wasn't everything.
Oh yeah,
either. Yeah, because Sarah.
Oh, we forgot about all this shit. Yeah,
Sarah. Meanwhile, Sarah meets Bishop, her kidnapper, and the creator of all the Ava clones.
From the future.
Yeah, after
right? I guess.
After healing Sarah, Bishop claims that human greed doomed Earth and intends to restart humanity using alien DNA. Wanting Sarah to teach them strength. Alright, so Sarah is betrayed by a deceitful Ava clone, inadvertently leading Bishop to her ship, who reveals that the pods collected its inhabitants' DNA, so she has these alien DNA. Sarah then kills Bishop. But at the end, she is knocked out, only to meet him again. So he's not really dead. So
he just comes back, yeah.
So basically, yeah. Who knows what's happening here?
Bishop,
yeah.
Bishop thinks he's gonna save humanity by creating them into like these weird, like monster-like creatures, with like bat wings and just whatever, and wants Sarah to train them, which is weird because his whole thing was that he was sad that humanity like warred with each other, but then he wants the new race of people to learn how to fight. Like, I don't I don't understand. Why would you? Okay, that's like saying like, oh, like people used to shoot each other, so now we need to teach them how to shoot. Okay, I don't understand that logic, but all right. I don't know, who is this guy? I mean, like, he's weird. Like, he's got one of those man buns or whatever they're called. Hipster buns, or whatever.
They rarely.
I think it's the dude from. Yeah, they rarely. I think it's the same dude from. You ever seen the Auntie Donna's Funhouse or whatever it's called on Netflix?
No, I haven't.
It looks like him. I don't know if it's the same guy, character, or same dude, but it looks like it might be the same guy. But anyway, he's like this party dude. Like, he dances and like turns on like a disco ball, and it's just like a.
The actress name. The actress name is Rafi Barsumayan. Barsoum.
Okay.
is the actor's name.
Okay.
And he's known for The Vampire Diaries, Shameless, The Rest of Us, The Code, Primavera is a short that he's in. He hasn't done a whole lot, really. He was like in an episode of NCIS. What'd you say the show that you thought he was from?
Like Auntie Donna's... I forgot the name of it. It's like a comedy. It's a comedy show on Netflix. I forgot the name of it. But
it's not him. I was just making sure. No, it's not him. Yeah. He actually did the voice of John Wilkes Booth in a short film called Booth, as well. So interesting. Okay. I mean, I like the actor. I think he's kind of cool, but he's got a cool.
This whole.
I don't know about the character though. That's the thing. It's like hard to say what the. I don't know.
Yeah, this whole plot. I'm not sure if I like it that much. I don't know. We'll see. But like, I don't know, like the whole like Winona Earp and like I don't know. Maybe I'm just in a weird mood lately.
The reason that they're here's the thing. They're referencing Winona Earp because on Winona Earp they reference Sarah Lance. Some of the writers from both shows are friends with each other. So they did this thing to kind of like a give and take sort of thing where they were just kind of talking, basically in dialogue talking back to each other.
Gotcha.
So I guess in the show Winona Earp, one of the characters mentioned Sarah Lance at one point when they were talking about like who she reminded, like something about favorite characters or crushes or something like that, and she talked about Sarah Lance. So yeah. So they did a little thing. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe maybe it'll be in our trivia that's coming up. We'll see here. Do you want to take a break here, Matt, and then talk some trivia?
Some trivs, yeah.
Yeah. We'll come back with some trivs, peeps. Byes.
Need a new podcast to listen to? Well, why not check out the Super Podcast from the Super Network at supermarcy.com, where we discuss films and pop culture, and we do monthly fan-voted commentaries. We are available on all major podcasting platforms.
And we are back, folks. We be back. How are the kids saying it these days? Are they just saying we're back? Because
I have no idea.
I want to be hip. I'm gonna grow out a man bun too.
Yeah, man.
My niece's new boyfriend has a man bun. I could ask him. I could ask him how to do it. He's a cool kid, though. I like him, so I mean.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it'll be good. Anyway, so but then again, I'll mention the fact that he's a kid, and I'm like in my 40s. So this. Okay, all right. So here's some trivia. You ready for the trivs?
The trivs, yeah.
Yeah. This is the first episode of the series not to feature Mick Rory, as we have talked about. This leaves no characters to appear in every episode of the series.
Wow.
In a season 4 episode of Winona Earp, Nicole mentions wanting to see Waverly in Sarah Lance cosplay. In this episode, Bishop tells Sarah he has all 15 seasons of Winona Earp queued up for her, while he waits for her to decide on whether or not she wants to help him. Okay. So that's why they did that, as we were talking before. Okay.
Right.
Astra's cartoon form is very similar to Tiana from Princess and the Frog. And almost that trivia right here being listed seems racist to me in some way. Okay, so just saying that, yeah, she kind of looks like the one black princess. I don't know why, but that just seems...
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Okay, the title is a parody of Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, Goethe poem, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, as popularized by its adaptation in the 1940 film Fantasia. Second episode directed by Caity Lotz. When asked what it was like coming in to direct an episode and then finding out that you were going to have to also oversee the animation aspect of this particular one, she stated, "At first I was a little worried because I was like, I have no idea what to do." And then once we all got on a call with Tony Cervoni, who was our animation expert over at Warner Brothers, he was just super knowledgeable and so sweet and awesome and excited to play with us. So after I got to meet all of them, I was like, oh, I don't have anything to worry about. I would definitely highly recommend working with Tony. He was a very nice, very open to collaboration, and patient with my lack of experience in the animation space. I've always heard it's kind of hard to direct yourself. What was it like trying to direct yourself when you were so often alone or mostly alone? And I'm chained up to a bed. It was really tough. It was tough. And I think because in the last episode, I only had one scene and it was simple, I was like, oh, this will be a breeze. Acting and directing ain't no thing. And then one day, I was like, oh wow, wait, how do I do this? We hadn't really had any actor directors, and I actually hadn't worked with an actor-director, so I didn't know what pitfalls I was going to be hitting beforehand. And neither did the show. So we learned together. On the first day, it was really hard. By the second day, we had figured out how to get the feed to my iPad and how to record it so we have time to do the playback. And that we needed to get a special actor that is cleared for COVID, who could be there for blocking and rehearsals so that I could be behind the camera. Because the way that it was, there was nobody that could even stand in for me with the actors because of COVID. That was the longest trivia thing I've ever read on this show.
Wow.
That was all in the Internet Movie Database trivia there. Okay, Bishop mentions the TV series Winona Earp, which apparently spans 15 whole seasons. In the real world, the series only ran for 5 seasons, with the final season ending in 2021. Astra turning the legends into household objects is reminiscent of the Disney film Beauty and the Beast, as you mentioned earlier. The objects that Astra turns the legends into are Ava, a binder, Spooner, a fork. Get it? Her name's Spooner, and she turned into a fork.
Right.
Okay. Nate, a block of cheese. Get it? Because he's cheesy.
Right.
Behrad, a candlestick. Not sure on that one. Maybe because he smokes a lot of pot.
Maybe, yeah.
Zari, a flip phone, which makes sense.
Right.
The legends forms reflect them in some way. Oh, here we go. Ava being organized. Spooner, a silverware pun on her name. Nate, he's cheesy, and his defense is full of holes. Ba-dum-bum. Behrad fries his head with drugs. Zari is always on her phone. Yeah. Okay, there's a couple more really long trivia things that I'm not going to read.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So, like... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Crowley's manipulation of Astra is similar to how a cult leader lures in new recruits. They pointed out, though, too. So I just wanted to point that out, which is very true. Because that's how I lured in... Oh, wait, sorry.
Wait, what?
I shouldn't be saying that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing, too, is, like, Crowley, like, basically manipulated Astra by, like, oh, you're such a, quick study and all this kind of stuff, and like she transforms the whole house into like this beautiful thing with all kinds of like tiaras and gold and silver. Then she comes back and it's all a bunch of trash again. And he's like, "Oh, well, this is beginner's magic. You know that stuff doesn't stay forever. Stuff like that. And
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
So,
Bishop too. Go ahead.
oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
I'm just saying Bishop too, kind of like you said, has like a cult vibe as well. Like,
Yeah, he does.
like they both do. Like it's weird. Maybe they should get together. Bishop and Crawley go on tour together. Bishop and Crawley, like Seals and Crofts, but instead they just
Whoa.
Bishop and Crawley, they just indoctrinate people into like weird.
Yeah. And I mean the name Bishop, I mean, I don't think I don't think his character has a character in the comics that's the same at all or anything. I mean, there are characters in like Marvel called Bishop, but I don't know of any in DC. And but the name Bishop, meaning like there's like bishops in churches, and so it does have that kind of cult like sort of religious aspect to it. Also, like the robotic character in the Aliens franchise named Bishop as well.
Oh, okay.
So that could be some kind of play on that. He was in space and he was not really a human per se. So I mean there could be some kind of implications there. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully things happen. Any other really cool in the next episode. Hopefully the next episode is called Bishop's Gambit. So he's probably going to feature prominently in that episode.
Right. Maybe we'll get his backstory or whatever. Why he's so intent on quote saving humanity. What's the other thing too? So he said something about Ava, all the Ava clones that he built. Like specific things into them, so it's like I wonder if he's implying that like even Sarah's Ava can be like turned into being like a clone, like basically like just whatever he wants her to be type of thing.
Like if there's some kind of like Manchurian Candidate sort of thing in her where she could just be flipped and then.
Because he made some comment like it's almost like you were destined to be together. Like he planned that whole thing out. Like
so he could capture Sarah then.
Exactly, because he knew that she liked girls, and he knew that she liked this, particular type of personality, and so who knows? That would really suck though, because like I've really grown really close to Ava as a character.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. What about John? Like, because like, will John's cancer come back? Because I thought he is using magic to basically prevent him from like.
Well, I think the magic took it away or something, but I don't know what's going on. We'll have to see what happens in there. And I mean, plus the thing is, it's like, the thing is he's never had like, I mean, he basically can manipulate magic. He doesn't necessarily always possess the magic.
Right. Yeah, I know.
So you know what I mean.
That.
So he might still be able to do magic, just not be as powerful. Maybe I don't know. We'll have to see what happens.
Well. But what's going to happen, I think, is because he already knows what he has to learn because it's all in his mind. So he'll have to start from scratch, but it's probably not going to take as long as it did, to get to that point. You know what I mean? Because he knows like what books to read and what spells to practice. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was searching like he was before. So, he'll probably +2. I don't know because Crowley said something about the Fountain of Imperium with like an unending magic or whatever. So maybe he'll finally succumb to trying to get his magic back, by going into that. I don't know.
He
did look.
We'll have to see what happens. Hopefully he doesn't lose his magic totally. That'll be really bad.
I know, because what's he gonna do with the legends? That's what he does. I mean, like it's
Yeah, so, I mean, who knows? I mean, I mean, I don't know what the contract looks like for the actor or anything too. So maybe he's setting up him leaving the show too. Because I know also, like in the DC world, the DC world right now, they are developing a Justice League Dark like series or movie right now too. And John Constantine is a character in that, but they did say they're not going to have Matt Ryan play the character, so they were going to cast another actor. And there was talk of bringing back Keanu Reeves as Constantine, which would be a bad choice in my opinion, because the Constantine movie was fun, but there's something. Yeah. There's something. I mean, my opinion too. Matt Ryan is Constantine. I mean, I don't care if people like Legends or look down upon it because it's on the CW or whatever they do. He's such a good actor, and he basically embodies that character. I mean, the character was basically built as modeled after Sting at that time.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
You know, so you need like a British, guy who has that kind of fuck you attitude that Matt Ryan embodies like perfectly. So,
right. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens here, and hopefully he doesn't leave the show, because I really like Constantine. He's one of my favorite characters in the DC universe.
I know,
period,
me too.
So, yeah. Everybody needs that fuck you guy in their world.
Yeah. The fuck you guy, yeah.
Any other thoughts here, Matt, before we wrap things up?
No, just look forward to see. Well, is tomorrow? Is it on, or they skip another week?
There should be an episode this week, so
cool.
We'll be back here next weekend with another recap and review of the show. So
cool.
Make sure you share the show with your friends. Check out all2real2.com. Follow us on the twits and the books and the grams and all that good stuff.
Grams, yeah.
Check out our Patreon. That'll really help us out. Yeah. Buy some stuff at TeePublic. That'll help us out too. Yeah. Do all the things you do for people you love. And people you kind of like.
Yeah.
And not for the people you hate.
Yeah.
Well, actually, a lot of times, I think in this world, we tend to glorify the people we hate more than the people we love. So what we need to do in this world is talk about things we love more than we do about things we hate.
Sounds good.
So let's do that, folks. If you like the show, talk about us. That takes like 2 seconds to be like, hey, check out this podcast.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
I mean, it's not really.
No. Just go on your social meds and meet it up. Yeah. Meet it up, man. Meet it up.
Meet it up. There you go.
Socially meet it up. Is that is that a verb?
I don't really know. Could be.
Okay, it is now. I love you all. I love you, Matt.
Love you. I love all of you.
So beautiful.
You know what that's from? Red Hot Chili Peppers. I love all of you. What's the lyrics after that?
I'm not sure.
Dun, 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 dun.
Something by the Cold or something. Anyways, so we're gonna. If you love the Red Hot Chili Peppers, you should love us.
Yeah, there you go.
Or I'm gonna have to live under a bridge. Under the bridge downtown.
Yeah.
So, love y'all.
Yep. Be
good. Be kind. Rewind. Wear a mask if you still have to. Wear a condom. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.